Welcome to Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Kinderwater. There's a connection. Ask anybody on the east side of New Mexico and they know there's a connection. A connection of what? A connection between New Mexico and Texas. We know that. But more closely, eastern New Mexico and Lubbock, Texas. You go, what? Lubbock, Texas? Yeah. Well, if you're from the east side, you know that because you go there perhaps for a lot of your shopping, a lot of your entertainment, and perhaps your medical needs. They don't necessarily come to Albuquerque, which might be a 4 or 5 hour drive. They go to Lubbock. From the east side of New Mexico, it's about an hour, hour and a half drive. So today on this program, we're going to learn more about that New Mexico, Texas, Lubbock connection, how our folks go there, and hopefully those Texans come over here. We'll be back talking about Lubbock, Texas, right after this.
Hey America, now there's a place where we can join our voice, Real America's Voice. Real America's Voice is coming to a town near you with a grassroots approach, bringing the real voice of America together. Real America's Voice is growing our family of networks across the country, and soon you could be part of that change. Download the Real America's Voice app and join other Americans just like you across the country, coming together for real.
Welcome back to the program. My guest is smiling, and I'm smiling too, thinking I know folks go over to Lubbock and over to Texas, but we're hoping Texans come over to New Mexico and spend some of those Texas dollars. My guest today is Tory Mitchell. She's with Visit Lubbock, and she's a sales manager there. And hi there, Tory. How are you today?
Good. Thank you for having me, Diane.
So do folks from Texas come to New Mexico?
We do.
Okay, good to know.
We do. We come to Albuquerque and Santa Fe, Ruidosa, all of that good stuff, yes. To get away, to escape Lubbock a little bit.
That is true. When I go skiing in Santa Fe or Taos or even down to Ruidosa, a lot of Texans out there.
Yes, so, Ruidosa is Lubbock's playground, as we say. Lots of Lubbockites venture off to Ruidosa.
How many hours is Lubbock and Ruidosa?
It's about 4.
4 hours?
Yes.
Okay, great.
So easy, quick drive for us Texans.
Yeah, they love our mountains on this side. Yes, as we do too as well.
Yes.
We're here today to learn more about Lubbock. It's a hub, medical hub between, the largest medical hub, I understand, between Phoenix and Dallas.
Yes, ma'am. We have 2 hospitals there in Lubbock, Covenant as well as the University Medical Center. And UMC for short is actually partnered with Texas Tech through the health science system. So UMC has the training program and the med school for all of the doctors, nurses, any sort of doctor training program like that is done through UMC. And then we have a heart hospital as well as a cancer center there in Lubbock as well.
Wow, that's quite a bit. And like I said, I know a lot of Eastern New Mexicans go over to Lubbock.
Mm-hmm,
because was I right on the distance?
Yes, from Clovis, it's about an hour and a half. So that is right there on the border. And then from Lubbock to Albuquerque, it's about 5 hours. So that'll kind of give you some range of how long it takes to get from Lubbock, depending on where you are in New Mexico.
And again, you had mentioned that it's kind of a 3-pronged area. Lubbock is education, medical, and of course the entertainment. And I was thinking oil and gas, but I was wrong on that.
Yes, the oil and gas is mainly in the Permian Basin. So a little bit farther south, about 2 hours south, is the Midland-Odessa area. Our main third one is agriculture. So we grow 8% of the world's cotton there in the South Plains, the Lubbock area South Plains, and then 90% of Texas wine grapes is grown there in the Lubbock region as well.
So we have 8%, yes, 9% ma'am. Of the cotton in the nation.
In the world.
In the world.
In the world, yes. All of that is grown right there. So truly, cotton is king. However, cotton is not the only cash crop that we have. We have sorghum, corn, wheat, and then cotton and wine grapes.
And 90% of the wine grapes in Texas are from the Lubbock area.
Yes, ma'am.
You're called what, West Texas?
We are West Texas, yes, ma'am. West Texas, South Plains, we use those interchangeably.
South Plains.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have other plains in Texas? Texas is an awfully big state. Are there other plains in Texas?
There are the high plains,
Okay.
which are a little bit north of us. And then other plains as well. There's a lake plains region.
Okay, a lot of, like I said, Texas is awfully large.
Texas is large, yes ma'am.
Quite flat.
In the area that we are in, yes, we are flat, but we are at a high elevation. So we are very high above sea level, but flat.
Oh, how
So
high
it's kind
are
of
you?
interesting. You wouldn't think of Lubbock as being at a high elevation.
What is the elevation, Tori? About?
I think it's about 1,500 feet.
Okay, that's higher than sea level. That's true.
Yes.
Wow. And the ag was the area that I missed of the third prong. The plains right there, West Plains would be this, and I didn't know about the cotton. That's a high percentage of
Yes,
cotton.
very high percentage. Lubbock would not be what it is without our agriculture industry. And then the cotton plays a big part in Texas Tech as well. They have a whole cotton research center throughout Tech that is part of Texas Tech University. And then they provide lots of research across the state as well.
Now, Texas Tech is one of the largest. I mean, we know here in New Mexico, a lot of students go to Texas Tech, and it's in Lubbock, and it's one of the larger schools, universities in Texas. One of
Yes,
the
ma'am.
top 5,
Yes.
with 40,000 students. So it's technology and agriculture.
Yes, technology, agriculture, engineering. We have a large engineering program. Tech is one of the few campuses in the country that have a regular undergrad program, a law school, and a medical school all on the same campus.
Law school as well.
Law school as well.
Is it called Texas Tech Law School?
Yes, it's the Law School of Texas Tech University. It's the Mark Lanier Law School there at Texas Tech.
The law school, and what was the other?
The medical school. Yes, so only a handful of schools have all three right there on the same campus. So that makes Lubbock or Texas Tech very unique. And then a fun fact, it's the second largest campus in the country as far as how far spread out it is, right behind Air Force, because Air Force gets to count their runways.
The United States Air Force Academy.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, they have a large campus.
They have a
because
large,
they
yes,
count
they
all
have a
the
large
runway.
campus, but they count their runways as part of their square feet. So if you were to take out the runways at Air Force, then Texas Tech would be the largest one.
The largest campus
Yes.
spread out. But again, I didn't realize it had the medical, the law, and because I'm used to New Mexico Tech is mainly, I think, well, not even agriculture, it's technology and engineering at New Mexico Tech.
At New Mexico Tech.
But that's why we hear so much about Texas Tech. It's
Yes.
just not the engineering, but the ag, the engineering, the medical, and the law. That's huge.
Yes.
Any others? Does Texas have another technology school?
I am not sure on that. Texas Tech is called Texas Tech University because the original name was the Texas Technological College, and then they eventually changed it to Texas Tech. So we are far more than just technology, but we have kept the tech name in our name, the tech word in our university's name.
Okay, that could be something that might need to be changed. Because only hearing it as Texas Tech, again, it didn't
You
include
just think technology,
the medical. I just thought of the technology, not the medical and the law. So
That pays homage to our original name from the 1920s. And Tech is actually celebrating their 100th year this year. So they started in 1923. So we are finishing up our centennial year.
any special events that you had this year?
We had all sorts of events that Texas Tech put on. Visit Lubbock did not help with many of those, but Texas Tech had events all throughout the state and on campus, just scattered throughout the year to celebrate their centennial.
Fantastic. Of course, there's a lot of entertainment at the university itself that draws people, draws New Mexicans over there, draws Texas to go to Texas Tech, but also the city of Lubbock has a lot of entertainment, including the birthplace of Buddy Holly.
Yes, ma'am.
Who was known for, you told me the song.
Peggy Sue,
Peggy
and That'll
Sue,
Be the Day.
That'll be the day when I
There's
die.
So many. I just cannot rattle them off, but I know those are the two of them.
You could sing them off. You don't have to rattle them off.
I don't
Tory
know about
Mitchell.
that. Don't put me on a sing-off. But yes, Lubbock opened up the Buddy Holly Hall of Performing Arts and Sciences. It's quite the long name, so we call it Buddy Holly Hall for short. That opened up in January of 2021. It is an amazing performing arts center that has the same acoustic rating as Carnegie Hall. It's an NC15, which you cannot get higher than that. So it's truly amazing. Lion King is actually finishing up their Broadway play on Sunday, will be their last day. So we're really getting some incredible acts that are drawing in travelers from all over the region, including New Mexico, Oklahoma, all of those great areas.
And it's called again the
Buddy Holly Hall of Performing Arts and Sciences.
Performing Arts and Sciences.
Yes, ma'am.
Do they teach classes or anything there as well?
They are partnered with Lubbock ISD, to where Lubbock ISD can host their events there, their plays, their concerts, and then they're also partnered with Ballet Lubbock. So Ballet Lubbock has a studio on site, and then they do the Nutcracker every November. But as far as theater classes go, they do not host that at this time.
So the Buddy Holly Performing Arts Center is named after Buddy Holly. Was there a foundation?
So it is all publicly funded. So individuals donated their hard-earned money to that. So that is truly an incredible thing that goes to the Lubbock citizens, that they believed that a performing arts center of this caliber could succeed here in Lubbock. So yes, no tax dollars were taken, just true donations from individuals throughout the city.
And why was it named after Buddy Holly? Tell me a little bit about that, Tory.
The individual that donated the most amount of money, he brought the idea to Lubbock that he wanted this, and he wanted to be, anonymous. He didn't want his name out there, so I truly don't know who it is that donated the large chunk of money, but his one stipulation was he wanted it to be named after Buddy Holly. So that is why it is named after Buddy Holly.
Tell me a little bit about Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly was born and raised there in Lubbock, Texas, and he unfortunately passed away in 1957 in Clear Lake, Iowa, in a plane crash. His stint as a musician only lasted approximately 2 years or so. He was very young when he passed away in that plane crash, but he truly changed the way that rock and roll music was performed, the way that he played his guitar, and I believe he had 3 people in his band. You might correct me on that. But he changed the way of music, and he was very important to that music industry. The Beatles actually got their name from Buddy Holly, because the full band name was Buddy Holly and the Crickets. So the Beatles kind of paid homage to that, became the Beatles instead of the Crickets. So he was very important, truly just changing music as we still know it today.
Yeah, and a short stint, just 2 years, but was born and raised in Lubbock.
Yes, born and raised in Lubbock.
And had a huge impact on the rest of the world, really, with his music.
And he still does. He still has a huge impact. Lubbock actually gets a lot of foreigners from England that come over because they love his music. So they come over because they want to see the museum, they want to see his grave site. He's buried in the City of Lubbock Cemetery, so you can just drive on over there, and it's customary to take, a penny or a guitar pick and leave it on his grave to pay homage to him.
And a lot of Europeans come over, Britons come over to see, because he was important to them.
Yes, he was very important to them, and the type of music that started there in Britain and all of that.
How interesting.
Yes.
So how do they get to Lubbock?
So typically they will fly from England or London, and a lot of the common layover places will be Houston or Dallas, typically Houston. My boss is actually over there right now on a sales mission to just promoting Lubbock to the Brits over there, and showcasing Lubbock and Buddy Holly, and so they get word that way. But yes, they come over here, and the way that they do it over there is they get holidays. So they could have a 6-week holiday, so they come to Lubbock as one of their stops, and then.
But they fly into Dallas and rent a car, or do they fly into Lubbock?
They'll typically fly into Dallas and then rent a car and then do their holiday all throughout the state, and come to New Mexico or go other places during their holiday, as they call it.
Hopefully come to Ruidoso,
Absolutely.
Albuquerque, Santa Fe.
Absolutely.
Oh,
get this whole region.
But Buddy Holly is a drawing card.
He is.
Isn't that interesting?
He is. He's very important.
That's interesting.
to Lubbock. We've got a great museum dedicated to him. It even has his original black frame glasses that he's so well known for, his kind of iconic glasses. They recovered that at the crash site, so they have that at the museum. And then we have a larger-than-life Buddy Holly statue right across the street from the museum as part of the West Texas Walk of Fame. So people like to go take their picture with Buddy. And
what else can we see in the museum? Hear his music?
Yes.
See his guitars?
Yes, see his guitars. There is a motorcycle there that he bought that eventually Waylon Jennings purchased from him, but that has now been donated to the museum, so that's really neat. You know, pictures from when he was little, drawings that he has done, the story of him and his wife, Maria Elena. They were unfortunately only married about 6 months before his plane crashed. But there's some stuff about her and just some great memorabilia. And
nice.
Inside the museum, it's in an old train station, the old Lubbock train station. So the building itself is really gorgeous. And on one side, they have the museum with about a 15-minute video that you can sit down and watch. And then on the other side, it's a rotating art gallery.
Oh, how nice.
Yes.
You mentioned you have the West Texas Walk of Fame.
Yes.
Who
Walk
else
of
is on
Fame.
that?
Who else is on that? We have the Phantom of the Opera, David Gashin, he is on that. Josh Abbott, he was from Idalou. So it's not just people from Lubbock specifically, but the West Texas region.
And the people are famous for what?
There's all sorts. There's opera performers, musicians, ballet,
Oh, how wonderful.
ballerinas, any sort of artistic person that was really impactful. Natalie Maines was one of them. She got inducted a few years ago from the Dixie Chicks. One of the lead singers from Lone Star, I'm drawing a blank on his name, David Richie McDonald. He's on there.
And what is the Walk of Fame?
So we have plaques that are in the ground, just kind of like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, as well as kind of a memorial. You have your Buddy Holly statue, and then behind Buddy is a whole wall with plaques with everybody's names and what they are famous for, and then the year they were inducted.
How nice.
Yes.
How nice. I don't know if I've heard many other cities have that. Do they, Tory?
Not that I'm aware of. We really try to pay a lot of respect to our performers that come from our area. And Mac Davis is another one. He's buried right around the corner, actually, from Buddy.
You know a lot about Visit Lubbock. What would you like to touch upon that I haven't?
Lubbock is a very friendly community. We love our visitors and really try to showcase what our city is best known for. And specifically in the Visit Lubbock office, we are really open to people stopping by, even though we are we're on the 6th floor of a bank building. However, we really want visitors to come and just look at recommendations, whether it be for a church or a restaurant, just really kind of take in what our city is known for and all of those special pockets.
A lot of pockets, especially that wall of fame, or the Walk of Fame is interesting. The Buddy Holly Museum, the Performing Arts Center. What else do people visit when they come to Lubbock?
One of the top visitor favorites is the National Ranching Heritage Center. So this is owned by the Texas Tech University, but it is an indoor-outdoor museum that is dedicated to the ranching history of not only Texas, but Kansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico.
The what kind of
ranching history.
What is that?
So our area is known for ranches, cattle ranches, horse ranches. You might be familiar with the show Yellowstone and the Four Sixes Ranch. So the Four Sixes Ranch is a famous horse ranch that is about an hour and a half east of Lubbock. So we have the old Four Sixes barn there. And what they have done at the Ranching Heritage Center is they have taken these authentic buildings from all of these ranches from across the area, dating back to even the 1700s. And they have taken them and moved them and placed them on this 19-acre property. And they've developed a walkway that you can start from the 1700s and see these small bunkers and work your way up. And then you get to the 1800s, and there's a cookhouse and a little one-room school and a church. They call it the Sheep Hospital, is one of the little buildings there. So I really recommend for people to check out the National Ranching Heritage Center. So that's outside, and then inside the museum they do rotating exhibits. So they can be anything from saddles to spurs, art exhibits. So truly it changes inside, I would say, every 6 weeks.
Oh, you're getting me
or
excited
so.
to come visit
Yes,
Lubbock.
you need to come see it. Put the Ranching Heritage Center on your list. And for families, the Ranching Heritage Center is opening up in the next week or so the Ranch Life Learning Center. So that is a children's exhibit showing children of all ages what it's like to live on a farm. So it's teaching them everything from taking care of a cow to cooking, why it's important that farmers and ranchers have dogs, and it's all Hank the Cow Dog themed.
Ah.
Are you familiar with Hank the Cow Dog?
Tell me about Hank the Cow Dog.
So John Erickson was the author of Hank the Cow Dog, and Hank is, it's a cattle dog. It's a story that he likes to tell children in his books about life on a ranch, and they're very funny, and he has written over, I think, 75 books. And so this children's exhibit is all Hank the Cow Dog theme, and it's inspired by the books that the dog has written.
So tell me, as a city girl, why are dogs so important on a ranch? I know they help herding.
Yes, they
but
help.
What else are they important for?
They
Tori?
help herding. All the cattle and the sheep and the goats, they are companions to the farmers and the ranchers. Every good cowboy needs a good dog. They protect livestock. So you might be familiar with the Great Pyrenees. Great Pyrenees are a guardian breed, so you can put those out with your chickens or
The sheep?
your sheep, your cows, and they fend off the predators, so the coyotes and all of that.
Do they? Okay.
Yes.
So
dogs are-
ranching life is big around Lubbock as well.
Yes, yes.
Along with the agriculture.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, so horse ranches, I mean, you have a lot of horse and cattle ranches around Lubbock?
We do. Lots of cattle ranches to the north of us between Amarillo and Lubbock.
Okay. How far are you from Dallas? Dallas.
From Dallas, we are about 4.5 hours from Dallas.
Okay.
Dallas, Fort Worth, depending on the traffic. And then from Houston, it's about 8 hours.
Right. So that's the closest would be Dallas. the
Dallas,
city.
Austin, San Antonio, I can typically get there in about 5 hours, depending on which part of San Antonio I'm going to.
And what about Austin? Your state
Austin is
capital?
about, I would say 6.
Oh, it's still that far? You're quite west, aren't you?
We are west, yes, ma'am. So Albuquerque, like I said, I can get here in 5. So typically, everything is about 5 or so hours.
It is kind of far. You're kind of like right in the middle of.
Yes, which is kind of why they call us the hub city, because people, the largest towns are many hours away, so they come to Lubbock for all of their, shopping and entertainment, like we talked about. So that's really where we get the name from.
But what about your airport, Lubbock Airport?
Yes, so we have the Lubbock Preston Smith International Airport. We have flights from Southwest United and American with nonstops to Dallas, Phoenix, Austin, Las Vegas, and
How about Albuquerque?
there's not a nonstop to
Nonstop?
Albuquerque.
There isn't.
No.
Okay, you have to go probably to Dallas and back.
And then we have a 5th one, and I'm drawing a blank on.
But that's why a lot of people probably drive.
Yes.
Except
yes.
Dallas. I mean, from Dallas to Lubbock, they fly a lot.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
We have you're wonderful, Tory Mitchell.
Thank you.
went to Texas Tech
I did.
and decided to stay in Lubbock.
Yes, I am a hill country girl. Grew up around San Marcos, Wimberley area, and
Which is where?
So San Marcos is in between. It's off of I-35, in between Austin and San Antonio. Wimberley is a small town just outside of San Marcos. So about, again, 6 hours away. But I moved up to Lubbock for school in 2011 and have never come back home.
Because?
I love Lubbock. It is the most friendly community. There's truly no better community than West Texas, and our people really look out for each other. We come together in times of need, when something bad happens, when something good happens. We truly have that community feel. that you don't get, I don't think, anywhere else.
Wow, smart young woman.
Thank you.
I'm sure they're happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be there. I call it home. I don't envision leaving anytime soon.
Do you have many conventions coming to Lubbock?
We do. Between our Lubbock Sports and Visit Lubbock, we hosted about 500 events last year.
Tell me about your sports.
So we have all sorts of youth sports, and your regular baseball, soccer, lots of baseball, lots of soccer, and then we have some fun events come, like USA boxing, so the big USA Olympic tryouts and all of that. That has been in Lubbock. Jiu-jitsu, wushu is another kind of sport like that. I'm not super familiar with that, but it's called wushu.
And your Texas Tech mascot is what? And what teams are big?
Yes, so
at Texas
our
Tech?
mascot is Raider Red. He kind of looks like an old school cowboy with his big red mustache and his cowboy hat. And then of course we have the Masked Rider. So the Masked Rider rides our black horse every year at the football games, and he makes appearances. So we love Raider Red and our Masked Rider.
And Texas Tech is known for football, basketball, what sports mainly?
Yes, so we have a football team. We kind of go in the ebbs and flows of football, but in the recent years we have been really good at basketball, and I would say for the past 8 or so years, or maybe even 10 years now, our baseball team has been incredible. Our women's soccer has always done really well. We have a great golf team. I know I'm forgetting people, so
everything.
Don't get
Come
me in
visit.
trouble.
Gotta visit Tory Mitchell. You have to go visit Tory Mitchell on the
Yes.
5th, 6th
Sixth
floor
floor,
of the
yes.
Bake Building.
Yes.
So much to see and do. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me. I'm always happy to talk about Lubbock and get our friendly neighbors to the west to come visit us.
Thank you so much. You explained it so well.
Thank you.
It makes us excited, really, to see Lubbock, Texas.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tory Mitchell with the Visit Lubbock in Lubbock, Texas. Thank you for watching this program. I'm Diane Kinderwater. Make it a great week with your family. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
The New Mexico Modern Child Support Family Program works to benefit both parents for the purpose of improving children's lives. It provides the basics of child support, but goes further by helping parents step up to find better job opportunities that get them back on track to paying their monthly child support obligation. Find out how the Child Support Step Up program can help your modern family. Contact New Mexico Child Support today to learn more.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program or to purchase a copy of any Issues and Answers program, visit sunbroadcasting.org or call us at 505-345-1991.